Alright guys, thanks for coming to this video because I know you want a kick-ass system and I know you want to watch me talk shit or whatever I usually do. Anyway, just to get right on topic, we're going to start out with the main things you need, hardware essentials, to run GTA 4 optimally. Now, we're going to first go over why you need these things and what they are and how much they cost. I'll even link them below the video what you can buy and where you can buy it cheapest. Just to save you guys some money. So basically we're going to go over this. First off, if you're going to run GTA 4, you already know that GTA 4 is CPU intensive, which means it wasn't optimized more for graphics and ported so the code runs the mechanics more on the graphics end. It runs it on both and it runs it high and it leaks. There's memory code leaks. And C++ engineers didn't do a good job doing this. So they just did some subcode thing and mess it up. But basically to fix this, you can't. The only way is this video is out this video is going to be out on the 16th of December. So in about 14 days, you're going to have lcpdfr 1.0 installed, which is a mod you can play. You can play as a police officer, and it actually fixed some of the sub code that Rockstar cracked and messed up. That has RAM leaks and code leaks that crash the game instantly sometimes. So that should fix it as well, and I would suggest you install it. Even if you don't play it in game, install it because it fixes the leaks. Now we're going to go over the CPU first off. We're going to go over a CPU and the motherboard you want to go with. Now, I recommend this because this is probably the best way to run about it. Okay, first off, I'm going to recommend one CPU only, mainly because the price point per gigahertz of core clock speed, it increases. It's way better than any others except for the i5. Now there's two that I would recommend: the i5 2500K specifically for gaming, or the i7 2600K, but both of these can be unlocked and overclocked. They're already unlocked, I mean, that's what the K means. And basically what you can do with those, overclock them, because CPU intensive games like GTA 4, they run on high overclocks. They need a high overclock. That's what they feed on to get better frames and to be good. So if you're going to be one of those guys that play the game and you not want to crash, this is the CPU for you, and I'm recommending this one. This is the Amd Fx 8350 8 physical core processor. That's right, I said 8 physical cores. I found it online for like 179 bucks. You can probably get it cheaper than that. I know when it came out it was like 400, then it went to 199. The main reason I suggest this processor is because it's 8 physical cores. Now the architecture is different than Intel besides gaming. I mean, if you want to go gaming, get Intel as well. It's more expensive, saves you energy, but I would recommend go with this one, mainly because if you're going to play online like this video is for, you need more cores. This is like a server in a box, pretty much. Now basically with this server in a box, we can take this 4Hz turbo boosted to 4.2 gigahertz processor and we can overclock it another 600 megahertz. We can get this to 4.8 Hz stable if you have the right power supply. Now we'll go over the power supply in a minute. First off, let's go through this again. The architecture is for 8 physical cores, and it's got 6 megabytes of L3 cache, and it's got 2 megabytes of L2 cache on each core. So if that makes sense, it's like a total of like 16 or something. I'm not really sure on those specifics. I just know that's good because it's actually for each core, and it's more of physical cores. I hate logical cores are good, you know, hyper threading, which is what the i7 2600 and 2700K use if you want to do multitasking. If you're not doing multitasking, you don't need those cores, so I would just go with the i5 2500K if you can afford it, or get this one. But this one is the main one I would suggest if you're going to be playing multiplayer. If you're going to be playing single player, I suggest go with the i5 2500K, get a decent power supply and some liquid cooling. Not even liquid cooling, get you like a Noctua fan and put it on that the CPU, and then you can overclock it to about 4 Hz on air and it'll be good instead of liquid. But if you're going to overclock, you're going to need 3 decent things. You're going to need the CPU, which is very CPU intensive. I recommend this because you need 4 cores to utilize when you play a game. 4 cores on GTA 4 mainly runs 4 cores. If you have a high overclock, which we will go over a link on the video on how to overclock as well, but in the next video. But it's 4 Hz, and we're going to take it to 4.81 gigahertz, and we're going to overclock that as well. You're going to need a decent power supply, and you're going to need a motherboard. Now, the motherboard I recommend you buy for this overclock is really easy because it's really nice, but I recommend you get this. It's the Crosshair V Formula Z motherboard. It's my favorite. You can go right into the UEFI. It's not called BIOS anymore, it's called UEFI. You can hook this up, go in there, and you can punch a couple multipliers, change some voltage, change some stuff. If you don't know what that is, don't worry, we'll go over it in a minute. And we will go over all of this as well in different videos. And you can punch the multipliers, reset the switch, reset your OS, go in, and you have a 4.0 gigahertz A processor running. And the good thing about this is 4.8 gigahertz on 8 cores is amazing because you need 4 cores to run the game, like I said before. I go off topic sometimes, I have ADHD. 4.8 gigahertz on 4 cores is what you need to utilize GTA for, and only 2 of them will probably get to 100% full load. The other 4 are going to run your memory, they're going to do all of your other stuff you need to do on top of that. So like if you're recording with Fraps, it's not going to use these 4 cores. It's not going to bottle them up like an i5 2500K would. It's going to take those other 4 cores and put them to work at 40-50% load, and it's going to record with Fraps, and you're going to get 60 to 70 frames with an ENB installed, with mods, everything installed, and it'll run amazingly efficient and good. Power might be a little high, looking, you know, a little bit higher than most for power, but who cares? You're playing GTA 4, you want to get in a match, you want to stay in the match as long as you can, you want to get offline. It's easy. You don't want to be trying to get online every other 5 minutes for like 5 hours straight. You want to play for a straight hour? Good. That's the same equivalent of power wattage supply than an i5 would be your i7, so don't worry about that. Now, we've gone over that you need the FX8350, and we're going to overclock that as well. You just need this motherboard too, and to run these and drive these with power, you're going to need one awesome power supply. And I would recommend buy this because who knows when you might want to expand and buy a whole bunch of stuff for your PC. If you're going to spend $200 on a power supply, you might as well go and get the essential power supply that has the most wattage, because you don't want to buy another one for like 5-10 years. Might as well spend an extra $100. I'm going to recommend this one. I'm going to recommend this power supply. It is the Corsair AX1200. It's 1200 watt, and this gold means it's gold rated power supply. Gold is always best. There's bronze, and then there's better, which is silver, and then there's gold. Platinum, I don't know what that is, I've never seen, but I know gold is the best. Gold rated, can't go wrong. It's got all the plugs you can need for 5 years. You can run 4-way SLI, all that shit. You can overclock, all of that. It's good. So I would recommend get that. I'll put this up here too as well. And that's pretty much it for that. I also recommend for the CPU, we'll go over that in a second video, but for this main video, we went over this. We're gonna do one more thing, which is what you need for this heated hot processor. You're gonna need a liquid cooling, obviously, to cool this when it's overclocked. So we're gonna go ahead and get the liquid cooling, and the liquid cooling I suggest is the Kraken X60. This is a 140 millimeter fan in here, and it's the only one I've noticed to run and keep it really cool for AMD. You can get an H100 or H100i, whatever you want, but I recommend you get one that has 2 fans and no good. But I suggest if you're going to spend already $200 on a power supply, or $300, and you're already going to spend the money to get, a decent liquid cooler, you might as well go ahead and get the best liquid cooler for another $60. This one, 140 millimeter fans. That surface area you're going to be getting on there is way more than 120 millimeter fans on the H100 and stuff. So I recommend this. We'll hook this up, and this is one of the best ones. It has a copper base plate. I also recommend you get some thermal paste, because you're going to need it for that motherboard. The thermal paste I would recommend is little guy right here, Arctic Silver 5. It's really nice. I really like it. It's in one of the high density polysynthetic silver thermal compounds. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. We're gonna wrap this up now. Basically, if you can run on a hard drive. We'll go over that in another video as well. That's another video for data and stuff like that. But this is basically what you need for the CPU part to run a decent CPU intensive game. Stay tuned. We're gonna have the next video for the GPUs, or GPU you need to install, and the data, hardware, and stuff like that. And on the RAM, 8 gigs will be fine. 16 gigs is perfectly okay. Most games run it at 4 gigs, so I would just get 8. 8 gigs is good. So just get the 8 gigs and you'll be good. Stay tuned, the next video will be down here somewhere. And we'll go over the GPU and the data. Thanks for watching.